Hello, I've had a few questions about various mixes, one of them being a mix for roach in deep waters fishing the Waggler. Quite simple, record gold guidons. One of the heaviest mixes we've got in the range at the moment. You can add a lot of water to it, which obviously helps. You can make it really heavy without it going all sloppy. Obviously you're going to need some LEAM. You need to darken it all off. You can use the black damp LEAM, or the standard dry damp LEAM, or tiers de somme. I haven't got any at the moment, but you could use that as instead, or obviously black earth. It all depends on how heavy you need to make all these balls, ground baits, to fire in a catapult. There are other mixes you could try. For example, Secret, because obviously it's one of the heaviest mixes on, another heavy mix. The other one you could try is Turbo. Also a good mix to use. It all depends on how much LEAM you are going to use, or if you need it a little bit lighter, you can use just Super Roach, or you could use like 2 bags of Super Lake, to whichever LEAM you prefer. Another one, you could use Viva or Yellow Lake, whichever you want to call it. Also a good idea, you could mix that with Secret and then add your LEAM. Possibilities are endless really, there's that many different mixes. Or you could just mix it all up a little bit more and just go Secret with the G5 Special, and then add a little bit of brown crumb to it, and therefore just add a bit more LEAM. Possibilities are endless really. Little tip, if you want to make it even heavier and stickier, stick molasses in it, because it really is quite thick and obviously will make the mix heavier. Another additive is the Roach additive, can't go wrong there either. There's so many different additives you can use for that, including the classic powder additives. Totally up to you really. But as I said before, if you're going to mix it up, I'll just as a demonstration, if I'm mixing 2 kilo of guidons, I'll mix that very wet, not so it's like a super consistency or anything like that, but really wet, so you can, when you put the damp LEAM in it, it will absorb some of the water anyway. But obviously you've got to riddle that off before you put it in the mix, otherwise you'll have lumps and it would just make things awkward. Once you've got that mix sorted, the best thing to do is to go down the route with a ground bait whisk. This is the one I've been using for about 1.5 years now. It's the New Fish whisk. Excellent bit of kit. It's got no sharp edges on it, so it doesn't knacker your bucket up or rip it or scratch it to bits like some of them do. And it makes the mix nice and fluffy as it's supposed to, and obviously the whole mix is then perfect consistency every single time. I have used other ones before where they've completely destroyed my buckets, which is not good. But this one, because of its rounded off edges, I've never had any problems. All my buckets are still perfect, no problems whatsoever. But obviously you will need an atomizer. Like this, and then obviously you just spray that in the mix, and then with your other hand use the drill with a whisk on it and just set it to like a fine spray. So if you wet it too much, you could easily ruin the mix and you'd have to start all over again, and no one wants to do that because obviously it costs a lot of money to get all these mixes. Anyway, the second mix I was asked for was lake carp mixes. I don't know if fish meal's allowed on these lakes or not, but you could always use high pro specimen carp. Can't really go wrong with that. I still use it quite a lot today. Obviously a very sweet flavour, high protein mix. Or another good idea is catch, which is the Carp, bream and carp. Can't go wrong there either. If you are allowed to use a more fish mealy mix, then Expander Gold would be probably my first choice. There's so many other mixes you can use on lakes for carp, the whole Carp Master range. Take your pick, there's that many of them. There's caramels, sweet fish meal, and you've got the classic mixes, Super Crust Classic, Big Fish, Expander Fish Meal. There's a lot of carp mixes available at the moment. Just take your pick really. Just depends what the fish are like. If you do some homework and find out what the fish like, then it should be easy enough to find out what they want. Excuse me. But when you're using carp mixes, a little tip, try adding the boilie mix. I either use this one, the 50/50, or the Robin Red boilie mix. A 2 kilo bag will last you years. I mean, I don't use that much of it, even though I do use it quite a lot. You just simply get, if you're using a kilo, use like a 125ml pot. If you're using more than a kilo, then up it to 250ml. Just put it in there and then put it in your ground bait before you wet it, and away you go. Job done. If you're using boilies or dumbbells, they've all got some sort of boilie mix in there anyway, so this will just help entice the fish into what you've actually got on your hook. Pretty simple. The third mix was bream mix for the Waggler, using Record Silver. I don't actually have any here at the moment. I did look, but I must have used it before Christmas. Same as before with the roach mix, you can use any of the LEAMs with it. But I find with bream you don't really want it too heavy and too sticky, because if you're feeding on top of the bream that are feeding, you're not going to get very far. But you can just use Secret, can't go wrong there, just to make it a bit heavier, or Turbo, and obviously just use like any of the mixes really. They've got Brassine, Caramel, or as I said before, the Liquid Booster Bream. Really do like that stuff. You can also do it another slightly different way. If you want to, you can just use one bag of Super Lake and then a bag of Gold Pro. If I can get it. There it is. Bag of Gold Pro, and then add your LEAM to it. Nothing to it really. Just make sure you've got enough water in there to make it sticky enough so you can actually fire the ground bait balls out in a catapult. And that's it really. There's loads of other mixes you can use, or you could actually use the the World Champion. You could use that. That's a really sticky mix that will bind quite well to get the mix out there. Yeah, there's loads, but with the silver, Record Silver Bream, as I said, it is one of the heaviest mixes we do. Well, the Record range is quite heavy, so you shouldn't really need to add anything else to it. You can always use some brown crumb in it. Bream love that stuff, so you can't really go wrong It all depends on what mix or what particles you're putting in there. Obviously if you're putting maggots and stuff in it, then try and use dead ones, because otherwise it will make a messy ground bait. Or just kill worms the night before or whatever, and then put the juices in the fridge. Or sometimes I do it if I know some of the worms are dying in my bucket or whatever, in my wormery. I'll just take some of the dead ones, or the dying ones out, cut them up and then freeze it, then defrost it a day before, and then add that to the water. And, you know, as it goes, all the attractants are still there. Or if you want some more extra added worm essence to it, then obviously the liquid booster worm. Really do like using this stuff. A lot of people should know, well, probably know that anyway. Because I use a lot of worm, I'm always using that stuff. Just it kind of helps out, because it saves you a lot of money just chopping worms up for no reason. You just use that and it would actually enhance the worms anyway. Now, if you've got any more questions or need any answers, anything, just comment below and then I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much. Stay safe. Bye.